Good evening. Tonight's Committee of Adjustment hearing is being held by video conference and live streaming video on the town's live stream webpage at oakville.ca. This is a hearing to consider applications for minor variance and consents held under the authority of the Planning Act. Please keep in mind the intent of this process is to review the application that is before the committee, listen to the evidence, and then make a decision. Process is not intended to be used to resolve any concerns or disputes that may exist between the town, individuals, or organizations. If a request for a deferral is made and the committee grants such a request, the applicant or authorized agent must contact the Secretary-Treasurer to schedule a new hearing date. In order to conduct an effective and efficient electronic hearing, we have adopted the following process. If you're watching the live stream of this hearing on oakville.ca, and if you wish to speak to an item on the agenda, you can call 905-815-6095. Again, 905-815-6095. The phone number is also posted on your screen below the live stream at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call. When you call in, staff will ask you the item number you wish to address and your telephone number. Further instructions will be provided for you to call back to join the video conference. When the chair of the committee polls for interested parties, please press 6 to unmute yourself. The applicant or agent will be given the opportunity to briefly explain to the committee the basis of the application, answer any questions that may arise. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided for a presentation. You will need to state your full name and address for the record. Any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. All delegations must also state their full name and address for the record. Maximum of 5 minutes will also be provided to make your presentation. All remarks and questions are to be directed to the chair. Any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. The applicant or agent will then be provided with a further 5 minutes to respond to the comments made by any interested parties and answer any questions from the committee members. If the applicant or agent has any concern found in the staff report, particularly with any proposed conditions, this is your opportunity to advise us. The matter will then be taken into committee for a decision. This will mark the end of all discussion. Any person desiring a notice of decision for an application must provide a written request, preferably through email, to the Secretary-Treasurer. Written notice of the committee's decision will be mailed not later than 10 days for minor variances and 15 days for consents to the applicant and/or agent and any other person who filed a written request for such notice. The last day to appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal will be noted on the decision. Only the applicant, specified persons, or public bodies may appeal the committee's decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. In November 2022, Bill 23, the More Homes Built Faster Act, amended the Planning Act to remove appeal rights for members of the public. If no appeal is received within the prescribed timeframe, the decision of the committee becomes final and binding. Secretary-Treasurer will then notify the applicant and anyone who received a copy of the decision through written correspondence. People participating in the hearing are to be courteous to and respectful of the members, staff, and other people participating in the electronic hearing. Tonight's electronic hearing is being video recorded and available at oakville.ca. Thank you. See, we have regrets tonight from Ms. McHale. Do we have any declarations of pecuniary interest? Do we have any requests for deferral or withdrawal tonight?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have 2 hands up. I'll move the first one into the meeting. One moment, please. Stephanie Matviva from GSAI.
Good evening, Ms. McVila.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. I'm here on behalf of application number A-165-2024 for 21 Pebble Ridge Place, requesting a deferral to further speak with staff.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, all those in favor of deferral? Okay, that is unanimous. Your application has been deferred.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you. We see Mr. Rafo on the call as well. You're muted, sir.
Can you hear me?
That's better. Thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. My name is Kusei Rafu. I'm here on behalf of the applicant A-/078/2025. Address 3208 Victoria Street, Plan M257, Lot 37.
And you're requesting a deferral as well, sir?
Yes, that's right. To collect more information and to contact the city for better supporting our case.
Right. Staff advised that they didn't have enough information from you, so that's advisable. Okay. Committee members, all those in favor of deferral? Okay. So that is unanimous. Your application has been deferred. You'll have your discussions with staff and then contact Secretary Treasurer when you're ready to return.
Yeah, after this call, or like, if you don't mind.
Just have your discussions with staff over the next little while, and then when you feel that you and staff have reached an agreement, or as much as you're going to, then you'll contact the Secretary Treasurer and she'll put you on the next available agenda.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Madam Secretary Treasurer, any further requests for deferral?
I'm not showing any more hands, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to the first application of the night, A073-2025 at 411 Sharon Drive.
Mr. and Mrs. King are both joining us.
Good evening. Just can we get your name and address for the record, please, and then you can proceed.
Hi there. My name is Abraham King, and my address is 411 Sharon Drive.
You can proceed.
Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yeah, please proceed.
Yes. For the committee, I just wanted to present the newest plan. We came before the committee before, and we were able to withdraw our appeal, but we've changed our proposed plan from 16.6 meters to 13 meters, as we discussed with the city, and we reached a settlement, and we discussed with the town, and there were no objections when we discussed with members like Dennis Pellerin and other members. We coordinated with them. So this is the approved plan that we wanted to present towards the committee.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, do you have any questions for the applicant? I see none. Madam Secretary Treasurer, has anybody called in to speak to this application?
We've had no calls.
Okay.
Should I call on phone, or is this okay?
Oh no, this is just calling to see if any members of the public have called in that wish to speak to the application, but it doesn't seem like anybody has. So, and there's no questions from the committee members. So I'm going to close the discussion on this matter and I'll look to the committee for a motion. Mr. Dickey. You're muted, Mr. Dickey.
Based upon my review of the owner's application, I am satisfied that the variance is minor in nature and conforms to the 4 tests under the Planning Act. And I put forth a motion that the application as applied for be approved, subject to the conditions that I wasn't ready for this. The condition that oh, I see. There are no conditions. I think based upon the minutes of settlement, it seems to say.
Yeah, perhaps
Yes.
if I can interrupt
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, if I think you're still there. Is this meant to be a condition that the development proceed in accordance with the minutes of settlement? It's a little awkwardly worded.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I believe Mr. Perlin's on the phone call as well. He was a town solicitor who dealt with the applicants in addition to myself, to come to the mutual agreeable decision in the settlement. So Mr. Perlin can perhaps describe the condition in a bit more clarity and why it's not required due to the settlement.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Perlin.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. The minutes of settlement are an agreement that had been reached between the town and the applicant, subject, of course, to your approval of the variance. That agreement itself sets out a detailed requirement with respect to the applicant if you do approve the variance, and to then move within 6 months of the date of the decision of the committee to reconstruct the driveway and the driveway extension and bring it back to the 13-meter limit, and any encroachments in the right-of-way out of the way, and the landscaping of the area that's been freed up from the presently built driveway extension. So the thinking was, subject to your consideration, that no condition was necessary because the minutes of settlement itself had been executed, are in agreement, and would go into effect if you approve the variance.
Mr. Perlin, Mr. Dickey seems inclined to move a motion in support. The question I would have, if you have minutes of settlement that require certain things to be done and within a certain time frame, if the variance isn't conditioned to that, and if the applicant doesn't fulfill the minutes of settlement, we'd have a variance that would stand, but minutes of settlement that weren't abided by. And I guess I'm wondering whether it would be prejudicial, or if you'd object to a condition that development proceed in accordance with the minutes of settlement, just so the two are tied together.
No, not at all. If you wish to attach that condition, that's fine. And yes, that would also be supportive of the minutes of settlement. So if the committee feels inclined to attach that condition, the town would certainly be supportive, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Can I have this statement?
Sorry, we've closed the discussion with the applicant at this point. So just so everyone's clear, the question to the town was, you've executed minutes of settlement, which you intend on abiding by, and the question is whether it would make sense to tie the approval to your compliance with the minutes of settlement, so that if you didn't comply with the minutes of settlement, then the variance wouldn't be allowed. So that's, but I'll given that I interrupted Mr. Dickey's motion, I'll give you an opportunity to ask one question, sir, just to be fair.
No, it wasn't a question. I was going to say that we went through with the city, we agreed and we understand what needs to be done, and we really went through in depth. And then we're going to comply with what we laid down, which was okay by us and okay by the city, because it was not just imposed on us, but we went through more than 2 times. I think they came over and we really measured out, and it's going to be executed. That was what I was going to say.
Yeah, thank you. And the condition, if it gets imposed, will just do that, ensure that you complete the agreement with the town. Thank you. So, Mr. Dickey, again, I apologize, but I think we need that clarification. And if I'll let you start over, if you will.
Okay. We're just dealing with the condition. So I make a motion that the applications applied for be approved, subject to the condition that the driveway be constructed in general accordance with the executed minute settlement approved by the Ontario Land Tribunal.
Thank you, Mr. Dickey. Any discussion on that motion to approve, subject to the one condition? I see none. All those in favor of the application? Okay, so that is unanimous. Your application has been approved, sir.
Thank you. We okay now?
Thank you.
Can I exit?
That's it for your application, sir. We'll now move to A076 at 288 Oakwood Drive. Anyone wishes to speak to this application, you can call in at 905-815-6095. 905-815-6095. Good evening, sir. We can get your name and address, please?
Yes. Good evening. My name's Andy. Andy Huang, address 49 Grandower Circuit, Scarborough, Ontario, M1T 273.
Okay. Can proceed with your presentation?
Yes.
As soon as it comes up.
So is the is the staff gonna present the presentation, or am I gonna share my screen?
You can't share your screen. So is there an issue with the presentation, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
Yes, will just be one moment, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are proposing some interior layout changes and some modest alteration to the second floor gable roof of an existing detached house. There will be no change in the building footprint and no new construction that expands the building's current setbacks. The existing building is a legal non-conforming structure under the current RM4 zoning. As a result, any alteration triggers the need for committee approval, even though, the proposed work maintains existing condition and do not create any new non-conformities. The variance that we are requesting tonight is a three minor variance. For the number one is the side yard setback. The zoning requires a minimum of 4.5 meter interior side yard setback, and the existing building has a 4.01 meter setback, which we are maintaining with no further encroachment. And the second one is this building separation distance. The zoning requires separation between the dwelling is about 2.4 meters, and the existing separation between our one-story structure and adjacent three-story apartment buildings 1.8 meters. Again, unchanged by our proposal. The last minor variance is the permit use. We are seeking confirmation of a single detached dwelling continue to be permitted in the RM4 zone for the property, reflecting its historic and ongoing uses. So in a summary, the application does not intensify any use on the site, nor does it introduce any new zoning impacts. It simply just modernize and to improve the livability of the existing structure while maintaining its current relationship with the surrounding properties. So we believe the proposal is reasonable, reflects the existing neighborhood context, and meet the city's planning objectives. So I would be happy to answer any question the committee or the public might have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, any questions for the applicant? Okay, I see none. Madam Secretary Treasurer, has anyone called in to speak to this application?
We've had no calls.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Buckerfield, as opposed to listing the application as two variances under the section 45.1 and one under section 45.2, staff describe it as a permission request. I just wonder, and I'm not sure how committee members would make that motion with respect to these section 45.2 aspects, or is it even necessary?
Through you, Chair, thank you for the question. So in this instance, the applicants requested a variance under Section 45.2 of the Planning Act and two variances under Section 45.1 of the Planning Act. We've indicated that we don't have any objection to the variances being requested, and that if it's approved, to be built in accordance with the plans.
Committee members, I think I'd suggest if you're inclined to approve this application, you would break the motion up into approval of the continuation of the detached dwelling under section 45.2 as it's similar in nature, and then the two variances under 45.1 with respect to the typical four tests of the act. Okay, so no questions from the committee members. Nobody has called in to speak to this application, so we'll close the discussion and I'll look for a motion on this matter. Mr. Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say one thing. When I was in kindergarten in Oakville, I lived in that apartment building.
Oh, you did?
I know that house has been used residentially for all that time. I think the superintendent lived there. So it was kind of a nice shock to bring back my history. Sorry about that, but okay. Based on my review of the owner's application, the site plans, and my site visit, together with the presentation by the owner's consultant and the planning staff's report, I am satisfied that the variances are minor in nature and conform to the four tests under the Planning Act, and that the use has been continued, or the root use for residential purposes have been continued to prior to the passing of the zoning bylaw, and an expansion would be in conformity with the zoning bylaw and official plan. Therefore, I put forth the motion that the application is applied for be approved, subject to the conditions that the addition be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawings dated April 24th, 2025, and the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction, and also that the staff note that the subject property and the detached dwelling has continued to be used for residential purposes since prior to the passing of the zoning bylaw 2014-014, and that an expansion would be in accordance with section 45(2) of the Planning Act.
Thank you, Mr. Dickey. Any discussion on that motion? I see none. All those in favor of the motion to approve? Okay, that is unanimous. Your application has been approved, sir.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Have a good night. We'll now hear A077 at 120 West Side Drive. And I would note we have 5 letters of support for this application from a Natalie Vina, Brittany Aziz, Monique and David Wismer, Lisa Bordas, and June Capito. We have the Lennoxes on the line. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Hi, I just want to introduce ourselves. We are Derek and Lucy Lennox. We're the owners of 120 West Side. We moved into our property approximately 5 years ago. We love Oakville, our neighborhood, our street, and our neighbors. In 2020, we purchased the house and we began to realize we were affected by some mulberry trees around the property. The mulberries would fall and stain the patio, furniture. We've also got 2 young girls that love to run around on their bare feet. So this began to affect our lifestyle as we were staining and just constantly dealing with the berries as well as wasps that would then come later in the summer. As we looked to begin to find solutions for this, we explored the idea of a covered deck in our backyard, and we went about things in not the best order. So we're here to ask for some awareness and I guess forgiveness on this. And so we began to do some sketches and drawings ourselves. We hired a contractor to construct a covered porch. The proposal here that we've asked for is to ask for an increase in the variance of the lot coverage, recognizing that the zone RL5 is 35%. What we are asking for is coverage close to 42%. I believe it's 41.37%. We have solicited some feedback from our neighbors, which I believe you mentioned here. And based on that, we are asking for permission to proceed with the construction of a rear covered porch off the back area. And we've done this in a way to keep in line with the design of the neighborhood and to also protect the trees and not take any of those down.
Okay, thank you. If anyone wishes to speak to this application, you can please call 905-815-6095. Committee members, do you have any questions for the applicant? I see none. Madam Secretary Treasurer, has anyone called in for this application?
We've had no calls.
Okay, thank you. I'll close the discussion and look for a motion on this matter. Ms. Price.
Okay, in consideration of all the written submissions by the owner and town staff, as well as the support of their neighbors, I am of the opinion that the variance is considered minor in nature, desirable for the use of the land, and in keeping with the general intent of the town's official plan and the zoning bylaw. I believe the applicant can proceed with their development plans subject to the following conditions. That the covered rear porch be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawing dated October 8th, 2024, and the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Thank you. Any discussion on that motion? I see none. All those in favor of the motion to approve? Okay. That is unanimous. Your application has been approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
If anyone is in attendance wanting to speak to application A078 at 3208 Victoria Street. That application was deferred earlier tonight, so it will come back at a later date. If you receive notice for this application, you'll receive a new notice when that application is coming back to committee. We'll now hear application A047, deferred from April 2nd at 1321 Duncan Road. And if anyone wishes to speak to the application, please call 905-815-6095. Good evening, Mr. Leonardo.
Unmute. Okay, I'm unmuted.
You are.
Host video. Okay.
Hey, if we can get your name and address.
Good evening, Dominic Leonardo, 209 Popular Drive, Oakville, Ontario, L6J4C7. This is for application, obviously, for A047. Thank you for the deferral from April 2nd, as that allowed us to address all the comments from our prior application, which I think we have accomplished very well. We eliminated the garage variance altogether, so we went back to the zoning standards for the garage. As in doing that, it obviously reduced the massing that was previously there. We also are with that, we went even more greater side setbacks. So we're at around 3 meters each side right now, which is wider than the normal allowed. We incorporated a roof, a lower roof over the garages to split up that area as well, soften it further. And that is flowing with our lower roof line, which is obviously below our second floor ceiling plate, which also softens the whole front exterior. Basically, the square footage asking for is basically put on the rear, and also for that site, the lot coverage is basically that rear porch, just to give a little bit more coverage as for seating outside in the rear. Again, all the trees and leaves and what, so just for a sitting area. I do believe these are all minor in nature. And again, thank you for the deferral from April 2nd. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, do you have any questions for the applicant? I see none. Madam Secretary Treasurer, has anyone called in to speak to this application?
We've had no calls.
Thank you. I'll close discussion and look for a motion. Ms. Price.
Okay. In consideration of my site visit, the written submissions by the owner, the agent, and town staff, I'm of the opinion that the two variances can be considered minor in nature and desirable for the use of the land and in keeping with the general intent of the town's official plan and zoning bylaw. The applicant, in my view, the development plans can be the applicant can proceed with the development and are subject to the following conditions. That the dwelling be considered in a general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawings dated May 6, 2025, and that the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? I see none. All those in favor of the motion to approve? Okay, that is unanimous. Your application has been approved, sir. And thank you for taking the earlier deferral and working things out with staff.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. We're going to move to our final application for the night, but before I do that, again, if anyone is here for application A165 2024 at 21 Pebble Ridge Place, that application was also deferred earlier in the evening, so it will be coming back to a subsequent meeting. So we'll hear A014 2025 at 244 Sable Street. And if anyone wishes to speak to this application, please call 905-815-6095. Good evening, sir. We can get your name and address for the record.
My name is Colin Judd of Keller Engineering, and I'm representing the homeowner at 244 Sable Street.
And proceed with your presentation.
Okay, so essentially we were just revisiting a deferral from early February, and that was speaking to some of the concerns over some vertical massing. And so we're here to, with a revised submission to present a maximum residential floor area increase for 4395 with a requirement of 41. Next slide, please. Okay, these were just a recap of some of the other properties within the area and their attributed RFAs. And next slide, please. Okay, so 244 Sable, you can see the general neighborhood there, and just going to generally speak to this, that it's mainly 50s and 60s vintage single-story bungalows with this building included, and that it's slowly transitioning into some second stories. And it's considered low density at the moment and does not present any encroachment on Parkway Belt or Greenbelt sensitive lands. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the existing site plan, single-story brick veneer home, and the adjacent building to the top is also a single-story bungalow, and the one on the left is a little bit of a newer 1.5, 2-story type of single-family dwelling. So the building footprint here is 124.49 at the moment. Next slide, please. So what we're proposing here is the 2-story single-family dwelling, stone and stucco mixture, and basically lot coverage would be 248.42. And next slide, please. Okay, so now our RFA is around 43.95. So basically, this is attributed to shrinking the second floor area. So I'll get into that in a second here. Next slide, please. All right, so the previous submission, the concerns were, as you can see, is highlighted, that it presented a lot of vertical massing as per the Town of Oakville guidelines. And so we wanted to try to reduce that and enhance it a little bit and provide some more character. So with the town's help, Brian and Nana, they were great. Thank you very much for your assistance. We were able to reach a good consensus of a design that provides some more geometric interest and allows the step back with a bit of definition in the geometry, as we'll see on the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so essentially what we've done here is we've added in an awning roof above the garage to break up that big wall face. We've also shortened the covered entry on the front porch. And we've added a larger window to add a little bit more interest, and also increased the height of the sheet metal roof accents on the base. And so next slide, please. Okay, so you can see that the awning covering the garage is also going along the side wall of the house as well. And as you can see there, there's a bit of a step back. So it's a 1'3" step back on the second floor above. And on the front, it's 2 feet step back. So this was able to give us enough definition and geometry to give it a little bit of character. Okay, and next slide, please. And as you can see on the side elevations as well, we had to terminate it at the end there just because of the bump back and the big window awnings there. And so you can see a bit better the side elevation, the right elevation for the awning wraparound, the return. That terminates at that wall, just before the elongated stair window. Okay, next slide, please. All right, this is just basically the main floor plan. It's about the same as before. And so next slide, please. Okay, so as you can see here in the second floor plan, a little bit of the awning below, and just showing a little bit of the delineation of the wall below and how we've stepped back that bedroom number 4 with 2 feet along that wall and 1'3" along the right side to be able to achieve that geometric difference. And next slide, please. Okay, so basically in summary, we feel that this is a good compromise to the design and that it would suit the area better. It helps address the vertical massing, and by adding the awnings and the wraparound awning around the garage and shortening the front entry, we feel that helps kind of subdue the visual from the street. Okay, and that is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I remind everyone, if they want to call in to speak to this application, 905-815-6095. Committee members, do you have any questions of the applicant? I see none. Madam Secretary Treasurer, has anyone called in to speak to this matter?
We've had no calls.
Thank you. I will close the discussion and look for a motion. Mr. Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Based on my review of the owner's application, the site plans, the building elevations, my site visit, presentation by the owner's consultant, and the planning staff's report, I am satisfied that the variance is minor in nature and conforms to the 4 tests under the Planning Act. And I put forth a motion that the application as applied for be approved, subject to the condition that the dwelling be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawings dated April 22nd, 2025, and that the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit is not being issued for the proposed construction.
Thank you, Mr. Dickey. Any discussion on the motion? I see none. All those in favor of the motion to approve? Okay, that is unanimous. Your application has been approved, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. That concludes the applications for tonight. If I could get confirmation of the minutes. Ms. Price, thank you. And motion to adjourn. Mr. Dickey, thank you. We are adjourned at 7:44.